summertime, and the living is easy.
It's not difficult to see that I'm a vicar. A Church of England vicar, in fact. Well, the collar is a dead giveaway, isn't it? And this was one of the churches that I looked after as a vicar. But I was also a rector. And this is one of the churches I looked after as a rector. But what's the difference between a vicar and a rector? Let's go inside. In most churches, fairly near the door, there is something called the font. And it is in this, a big washing up bowl, where people are baptized and made members of the church. And then at the far end of the church, the east end, there is a table called the altar. And that's where the priest celebrates Holy Communion. Probably the most important service for most Christians. Also near the front, either left or right, there is a pulpit where the gospel is preached. In many churches, there is a board listing the parish priests who have served that church. These people have been given by the bishop the cure of souls in this place, known generally as the living. The living is not just the church, it's the whole parish and every living soul in it. But we still have the question, what is the difference between a vicar and a rector? Well, today there's no difference at all. They both live in the given house and do the same job in the living. In times past, the church owned huge tracts of land and property, often owned by one person. If you were wealthy, you could buy the living, and many bought more than one. A whole heap of livings were bought by rich priests. They couldn't possibly run them all, so these priests, known as rectors, appointed poor priests, called vicars, to live in the parish and do all the hard work. So that's it then. The vicar, so called because, if I can quote the Latin, he is put in vicarius, that is, in place of the rector, who lives in a big house somewhere else. The vicar, meanwhile, probably lives in one of the poorer houses in his parish. Whatever his title, the vicar was paid peanuts. Meantime, the rector coined it from all the lands he owned and lived a life of Riley. Dum diddly dee, a rector's life for me. Free house, expenses, 6 weeks holiday, and living the living in God's vineyard. What's not to like? Dum diddly dee, a rector's life for me. Hey!